Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Turns Home Scott Selections here for Tuesday, September 13th. Before getting today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. We had a nice winner in baseball with the Rangers in game one on the money line at plus 115 on DraftKings. Game went kind of the way that I thought it would. I thought that Texas would have to get the 3 runs in order to have a shot to win because Miami can't hit. And they won exactly 3-2. It was a nice come from behind win there. Miami's bullpen ended up struggling. They kept Rogers in for too long, and Texas eventually found a way to get the job done at plus money. So nice winner there. Look for the winner here on Tuesday. And for today's play of the day, going to pivot to the WNBA for game two of the WNBA finals between the Sun and the Aces, taking place at around 9 p.m. Eastern time. And for this matchup, we like the home team in this one. We like the Aces, -4.5 and -110 on DraftKings. Time recording of midnight Eastern time. Couple reasons why I like the Aces -4.5 into this matchup. First reason, the Aces have been playing some great basketball lately, as Vegas has won 10 of their last 11 games, and 9 of those wins have been by at least 5 points. So the Aces have definitely started to pick up their level once again, which is why they're in the WNBA Finals and have looked like the prohibitive favorites up to this point to actually win the title for the first time in franchise history. Now, the Aces did win Game 3 at home. However, they only won by 3 points, but I do think that score is a little bit misleading because the Aces were leading somewhat comfortably with less than 2 minutes to go. The spread was 6 in the game, and the Aces led by 7 with 125 to go. Then Connecticut eventually ended up cutting into it, and Vegas only won by 3. But I find it a little bit weird that Vegas was in a very decent spot to actually cover the 6, and yet now the line for game 2 is 4.5. I just don't think it's worth dropping the line by 1.5 points based on what we saw in game 1. I think the Aces should be once again favored by 6 or so. So I think there's naturally value on the 4.5. To go through some of the stats for the game, both teams shot the ball terribly. However, Vegas was especially bad from 3, as Vegas only shot 20.8% from the 3-point line in game 1, which is definitely not expected to happen again because the Aces shot 39.7% from 3 in the regular season, which ranks second in the league. So I do expect Vegas to look a little bit more comfortable behind the arc in this matchup, which should result in a bit of a more lopsided score after 40 minutes into this game. Now, if you also want to talk about talent, the Aces definitely have the much more talented roster, and you could argue they have the best 3 players in this actual series. I know Kelsey Plum's been pretty underwhelming in the playoffs. She was still one of the serious MVP candidates. A'ja Wilson won the MVP, and Gray's been amazing for the entire playoffs. And you could argue John Quell is maybe better than one of those 3 players. But the point is, you can make a serious argument the Aces have the best 3 players, or worst case scenario, 3 of the best 4 players in this series. And the fact that Vegas struggled offensively, I do think is more of a fluke. However, Connecticut offensively has really not looked that impressive because they really don't have many quality weapons. But the Aces have a very solid home court, and they've shown it all season long. Connecticut struggled offensively against elite defenses recently, and I do think that with Vegas shooting so badly from 3 and yet still winning the game, while also only losing the rebounding battle by 5, I think they got a really good shot to win this game in blowout fashion. We've seen the Aces struggle in game 1 so far in this postseason run. They let the Mercury hang around for a half, or for basically 3 quarters, and the Mercury were easily the worst team in the playoffs based on all the injuries, and they also lost game 1 to Seattle at home in the second round. They bounced back well in game 2 in each of those series. I think Vegas is going to end up winning this game by probably 7 points or so. It might be close for a bit, but I think eventually Vegas goes on a run and they just have a little bit too much offensive firepower for Connecticut to handle. But 4.5 does seem a little bit of an overreaction for what happened in game 1 and how a couple of, let's just say, better plays down the stretch for Vegas. They potentially win that game by double digits if the fouling works out and they don't turn the ball over. So I do think it's a bit of an overreaction, and I'll gladly take the value with the better team at home, only laying 4.5. So play that once again here for Tuesday, September 13th is going to be on the Aces -4.5 at -110 on DraftKings. Bye, everyone.